If you hear anything inspiring or very intelligent over the next 50 minutes, it's something that John Wooden said, wrote down, spoke about, and lived out. If you hear something that's not so intelligent, it's probably me freelancing a little bit, but I'm still working on it. If you paid attention to what he said and who he was, it was going to make a difference in your life, and that difference could be generational. His wisdom opened my mind and my heart. His grace and humility touched me in every way. Every day, every moment you ever spent with him was just inspiring. That I could think about hope and I could have it in my heart. I would get my chance. There would be an opportunity. And oh, by the way, if I prepared for it, very Wooden-esque in that, and if I brought the effort and the experience, I could have hope for the future. We clearly have an opportunity, I believe, to learn and apply like never before the lessons of America's greatest coach. I absolutely believe that there's never been a better time or a time when his lessons and his role model and his wisdom are more needed than they are today. But everything about Coach was inside out. And we can't do anything on the outside with anybody that isn't here on the inside. You can't fake the real stuff. He was also thinking about success. And he spent 2 years developing his own definition of success. 4 key ideas: peace of mind, self-satisfaction, effort, and capability. Why was that his definition of success? Because those were 4 things that you could control. I believe it's the most complete template of high performance, high competence, high character behavior that was ever created. And if you will really become a student of the pyramid and get your life, your program, your thinking on John Wooden's Pyramid of Success, it will change everything. And the other blocks, the 3 blocks at the bottom, add people. And that's another important idea. When you add people, you've got to be adding strength. Great relationships and friendship, loyalty to someone and some things, and cooperation. Listen if you want to be heard. Be more interested in finding the best way than in having your own way. What a challenge of leadership that is. There was another little poem that Coach liked called The Great Competitor. Beyond the winning and the goal, beyond the glory and the flame, he feels the flame within his soul, born of the spirit of the game. And where barriers may wait, built up by the opposing gods, he finds a thrill in bucking fate and riding down the endless odds. Where others wither in the fire or fall below some raw mishap, where others lag behind or tire or break beneath the handicap, he finds a new and deeper thrill to take him on the uphill spin, because the test is greater still and something he can revel in. The great competitor revels in it when it's difficult. Well, Coach Wooden had something he did a lot more before he worried about the example he set. It was what was going on in his head. He believed everything starts with the quality of your thinking. Now you're into setting the example. You're into the opportunity to teach and to lead and to mentor. He believed that everything rises and falls with the state of your mind and the quality of your thinking. And the question is, are you thinking enough about your thinking? Are you investing enough time in your thinking? Are you planning to be thinking about your thinking? What are you doing to continually improve your thinking? What are you doing to continually improve the thinking of others? What are you doing to monitor what's going in your head every day that's influencing your thinking? Coach's ultimate view was, man, you got to seek a higher level of thinking. He called it wisdom. And in the picture that he has framed, there's a picture of a man walking down the beach. And he's got a captain's hat on, and his little son is walking behind him and trying to walk in his dad's footsteps. You can see the imagery, can't you? And the poem went something like this: a careful man I must be, a little fellow follows me. I do not dare to go astray, For fear he'll go the same self way. I cannot once escape his eyes. Whatever he sees me do, he tries. Like me, he says he's going to be this little fellow who follows me. He thinks that I am good and fine, believes in every word in mine. But the base in me, he must not see, this little fellow who follows me. I must remember as I go through summer sun and winter snow, I am building for the years to be, this little fellow that follows me. Coach Wooden recited that poem 1,000 times, nearly after every camp he ever taught, every speech he ever gave. And then he'd always look at the audience, he'd say, somebody's watching, be careful. That was how John Wooden thought about setting a great example every day. And Coach had a couple of phrases. He says, you know, it's what you learn after you know it all that really counts. And when you begin to have all the right answers, you stop asking all the right questions. You know, a legacy isn't something we leave for people, it's something we leave in people. And Coach Wooden shows us that a legacy of never stop caring, never stop coaching, never stop being considerate of others. It was interesting when John Wooden was always asked, Coach, how would you like to be remembered? He'd always say the same thing. I'd like to be remembered as someone who was considerate of others. That would be enough for me. I think it should be enough for all of us. Every day, the greatest coach in history mopped the floors before his players played. Nothing he would ask his players to do, he wasn't willing to do. He set an example for what genuine hard work was all about. And that mop and bucket attitude, I believe, was very contagious. We seem to be working a lot harder on the greatness than we are on the goodness. I think if we get the goodness right, the greatness is going to follow. And with the final words that John Wooden would utter on the face of this earth, he said, loving God. With his final words, still teaching, still coaching, still showing us a way, and the way, not only how to live here, but to prepare us for what comes next. Well, I hope today that we've provided a little wind for your wings and you were excited and inspired to go out there and coach them way up. What a wonderful opportunity we have. Thank you very much.